Hello, my wonderful people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are hearing me. Finally, Mr. Peter Obi has come out to come and answer those who are criticizing him that he did not build schools when he was in Anambra State as a governor. So recently, Rino Omokri came out to come and be saying if anybody can tell him the number of any school that Peter Obi built in Anambra State, that he was going to offer that person $10,000. But when Obedient begin to bring all those videos and pictures out, how many schools that Peter Obi built, we did not hear from Omokri again. So yeah, Peter Obi doesn't answer people. He doesn't even answer those who are criticizing him. I believe he answered this question just because he was asked by the journalist. And they also asked him about how he was going to merge with Atiku Abubakar. So he answered these two questions. He answered them straight and perfectly and very smart. So let us listen to Mr. Peter Obi while answering the journalist. Let's listen to him.
Critics have accused you of not building schools during your tenure as governor of Anambra State. Can you elaborate on the initiatives that you implemented to improve the educational systems in Anambra during your tenure? And why do you think there's this misconception that's obviously being floated around?
I actually built a lot of, they said building schools. I don't know whether building schools or building infrastructures in school. I don't know what they actually want. If you look at what I've done, I've actually built a lot of schools. But I don't need to answer that. If they read my manifesto, before I became governor, Anambra State was very low in education. In fact, schools were closed for 2 years. People did not go to school. We were low in rating. And while I was there, when I came, if you read my manifesto, what I told you now was areas where I said I'm going to deal with. And we moved from 20-something in number to number 1. Go and get, even today, go and get even cut-off point. Anambra is the highest. Go number 1 to today. Maybe,
what were the specific, what reforms that you implemented to achieve that you think that can...
I don't know. I wish any of you are from Anambra State. I wish you are. So you call your town and I tell you what I did in your town in education. All the schools, we have about 500 secondary schools. Let me start with secondary schools. Okay. All the 500 secondary schools were computerized. We had buses. We had support in terms of teachers. We had generators to make sure they have lights. Those who needed boreholes, we give them boreholes. There's nothing, I don't know how I will start to tell you. I visited all of them at least twice, physically. Look at the infrastructures. Look at what is happening with them. Ensure that they have things that is required for learning. And as I can go on and on. No school, as at the time, maybe it's happening now, no state, I can say categorically in Nigeria, where you were able to equip the schools the way we did. No state. No state will you say the schools had brand new buses too. No school had a generator. No place, when we bought our computers, desktop, everything from HP, which is still there, as at the time, they said no government in Africa have bought this quantity from them. If I a vice president for Africa and Middle East came the day we launched it, we gave it away to schools. So there's a lot of improvement. We put internet in all the secondary schools. So it can go on and on. I built a university college campus in a place called Ibaria from the scratch, cutting the forest. I built a teaching hospital from the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria was built under my tenure in 2 years from the scratch. It's today in Oka. You can go there. These are things you can see. They're physical. They're not promised and everything. We didn't have a state library. I built one. It's there in Oka. You can go and see it. And I can go on and on in areas where in health was the same thing. We didn't have one single school of nursing, midwifery, or school of health technology that was accredited. Today, we have over a dozen. They were all supported, accredited while I'm there. So you can go and, these are things that are, I'm telling you the things that are verifiable. You can go and see it. So when somebody comes and says, oh, you didn't build a secondary school. Why do I have to build a secondary school when there's secondary school all over the place that we're in bad shape and repetitive, and I go and build a new one? That is the problem of Africa. That is the problem because there's corruption. Because people want to start their own. If you want, there's so many existing ones. Anambra is not a place where you go and say, oh, there's no secondary school. There are secondary schools all over the place. But they were in bad shape. Their structures, everything has collapsed. Things were not working. It's nothing. So I needed to rebuild them. And I rebuilt them. And if you go there, you see buildings that were all built. If you collect them together, I would have killed about hundreds of secondary schools. But I didn't need to. It's a state I know every community. I visited every community. I didn't say I visited every single community in Anambra State as governor, at least twice. And I've read it. They have secondary schools, visited the secondary school, saw it, saw what they were there, and tried to do something. So we did this, we did this. And since I left over 10 years ago, it is still the same generator that I gave them that they have. It's still the same vehicle that I gave them. It's still the same. So what else will I do? I commend him and I'm grateful for his statements, especially where he said he will support me because of the Southeast. On issue of merger coming together of parties, I always said, as long as any merger or any coming together is for a better Nigeria, for a new Nigeria, for governing properly, and for it. If it's just merger for election or state capture, I'm not part of it. I want to be part of anything. Like I always say, I'm not desperate to be president. I'm desperate to see Nigeria work, especially for the poor people. So if the merger is to be able to govern Nigeria properly, unlock all those things that will make Nigeria a better place, I'm for it.